If you're thinking about having a hair transplant, you should consider the potential risk of developing overharvesting. Now, overharvesting is a complication you want to absolutely avoid. I'm going to explain to you what overharvesting is, how to avoid this complication, and if you had a hair transplant and you unfortunately developed overharvesting as a result, I'm going to discuss with you remedies to fix the situation. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Dr. Ross Kopelman. I am a hair transplant surgeon. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. The first thing that I want you to understand is that we have a finite supply of hair in the back of our scalp. We have about 6,000 to 10,000 grafts. One of the things that you absolutely want to avoid is taking too much hair from the back of the scalp. If you do that, you cause a see-through issue. This is the over-harvesting complication you want to avoid. It's not going to look good, it's hard to manage. And remember, when you go for a hair transplant, the goal is to move hair from a more dense area, which is typically in the back of the scalp, to a less dense area. Your hairline, your mid-scalp. What you don't want to do is you don't want to take too much hair from the back of the scalp. And really the golden rule is to take less than 50%. Because if you take more than 50%, you're not going to have the coverage that you need in the back of the scalp. Now, there are really two approaches to hair transplants, FUT and FUE. With FUT, we only take hair from the safe donor area. It's a smaller area, okay, in the back of the scalp. And so we have less issues with see-through. With FUE, where we're taking individual hair follicles from different areas of the scalp, because that allows us to have flexibility to go beyond the safe donor area, the risk is we might take too much hair from one area of the scalp versus the other. And so you can have this patchy-like appearance in the back of the scalp where one area appears more thin than the other. So that's one of the risks of doing FUE. Now, FUT still has the potential of having a complication, especially if we have progressive hair loss. Now, a lot of young men who have a regression of their hairline, thinning of their mid-scalp, maybe even some hair loss in the crown, want to have that completely restored because they want to look youthful. But the risk is if you get these mega sessions, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 grafts in one sitting, and they extract all these hair follicles, well, number one, there's a high potential that you're going to have a see-through issue in the future because your hair loss is progressive, and it's possible that your crown, where you're having hair loss, might progress backwards and encroach upon areas where hair was extracted, and that could amplify and make the issue even worse in terms of the see-through. So you have to be very, very cautious when you go for a hair transplant that the team doing your hair transplant is very diligent about how much hair they're going to take from certain regions of the scalp, and they must be thinking about how your hair loss might progress. The other thing that's so important is that you need to be on medication. You should not just have a hair transplant and not be on some oral medication as well as with some potentially some topical medication, because you have thinning hair, you have vellus hairs that if they're not medically treated properly, they're gonna fall out, and that's going to make the progression of the hair loss worse, and it's going to have an impact on the back of the scalp and contribute to see-through. Overharvesting is something you do not want to have. Now, I do want to point out that if you're in your late 20s or early 30s, you're thinking about a hair transplant, don't go for a session that's larger than 2,000 grafts. Why? Number one, your hair loss is going to progress. Number two, we want to see if that hair transplant is going to actually work. And number three, you have to be on medication. You are going to have progressive hair loss, and medication needs to be part of your treatment plan. And then I would wait. I would wait till your late 30s, early 40s to explore an additional hair transplant. But don't try to do any more than 2,000 grafts because you're going to put yourself at risk for a possible complication and a overharvesting. I know that you want to have this youthful hairline restored, but I'm thinking long term in terms of what's going to be best for you as you continue to go through life. And that's how you should think about your hair transplant. Now, if you happen to be someone who developed a complication from having a hair transplant where you have see-through issues in the back, there's a few ways to deal with this overharvesting. First and foremost, if there's a particular area in the back of the scalp that's thin, one approach is to actually take hair from the other areas so that there's a consistency and transplant that hair to areas in the front of your scalp that need the density. That's option 1. Option 2, take hair from the front of the scalp and transplant it back to that area that has that particular patch. Now, if you have really significant thinning in the back of your scalp, you're going to need hair from other areas of your body. And that's why we need to use the FUE approach to extract hair either from your chest, your back, and sometimes your beard, and then transplant it into that thinning area in the back of the scalp. Those are really the 3 options that would require surgery. And the 4th option is to do scalp micropigmentation, SMP, and this is where there's tattooing done that helps to camouflage the back of the scalp so there's an appearance of consistency with density. I want you to understand that hair transplants is an art form. And when I approach hair transplants, I approach it with a conservative lens. I try never to take more hair than I need. I'm always very, very cautious. I want to do everything I can to guide you to avoid complications from a hair transplant. If you have any questions about overharvesting that I have not addressed, please leave them in the comments below. Please hit that subscribe button because we are trying to grow this amazing community and you guys ask wonderful questions. And as always, I'm here on your journey to help you address your hair loss.